The StudsUp Podcast.
Hi everyone and welcome to this week's review podcast, our StudsUp Podcast. Welcome aboard. I'm here with my co-host Simon Says. Hello,
The
Simon.
stud in the StudsUp.
You are the stud in the StudsUp. I'm just up. Just naturally up.
That's because you're taller than me.
I am taller than you. I am Garfield. So on this podcast, we're going to be going through the round that just was, talking about the results, also talking about a couple of other little things that have caught our eye. The shiny little things that have popped up this week. I know, for example, that you were on Facebook and you solicited that we were going to talk about Paul Scholes' comments, so that is going to come up. By the way, if you would like to comment on our Facebook page, you can find us, StudsUp. Just type in it Facebook, we'll come straight up. Or you can go to our website, studsup-football.com. Without further ado, let's get into it.
The StudsUp Podcast.
Yes, well, it was a pretty big week. Another really massive week. A lot of goals, a lot of intrigue.
Yeah.
I do want to kick off where it all started. I mean, to be fair, I think there were two matches of the round this week, and you know that's the Manchesters and Liverpool-Leicester. But I would like to start with the Manchesters because this is your domain, sir.
Well, for me, that was the game of the round.
Well, it wasn't really. You lost.
Well, it wasn't.
It's
for
the most
us.
forgettable game of the round for you.
It's the most painful game of the round for me. I'll give it that. Probably,
where did it all go
possibly
wrong?
of the season. Possibly.
Where did it all go wrong? And don't blame Rooney. That is a cop-out. Please, let's get into this.
You've lost like 10 minutes of my argument there. I know. I will say this: if you have been paying attention and listened to the last podcast, I did say that he would start Jesse Lingard.
You did say that.
That is backfired spectacucularly in ways that I could not even begin to comprehend.
I got to be honest. I wasn't against that idea.
No,
though,
I like the idea.
I tipped. P.S. Just to be clear to everybody,
Yeah,
I
you
tipped
did.
Manchester United on the air and in the actual tipping that we're doing.
Yeah.
It's. I can't explain it. I really didn't expect to see what I saw. I did see what I expected from City, but I did not see what I expected from United.
Well,
so I want to get your thoughts on where you think strategically it went wrong, because that's where it seems to be the problem.
That's the problem. I mean, Mourinho lost the game basically with his lineup.
Yep.
Because Pep played it really smart. He didn't move the fullbacks inside for this game. He kept them out wide. He stretched play a lot. He used De Bruyne in this gorgeous floating roll down the left, he just wreaked havoc to our system. I mean, as we were talking about in the last podcast, I think biggest error for this game was not having three in the midfield. You've got to crowd that City team out. I mean, now they can play David Silva from deep pulling strings, and we didn't have a Herrera or a Schneiderlin trying to shut him down. We've got Fellaini, who actually didn't have a terrible game.
I think he was one of your best.
He was one of our best.
I mean, I hate that guy.
I know, it's so weird to say, isn't it? That he was one of our best players.
Gigantic Belgian microphone.
And
he's a terrible human being.
He is.
He's in the Diego Costa category.
Well, let's not go nuts.
Oh,
He's a terrible human being.
He totally is. He's a bastard. He's a known bastard.
Okay.
A known bastard.
He's a known elbower. He loves a good elbow.
Tosser.
Be that as it may. Great header of the ball. Best chest
Great
in
head.
world football. Best
Garfield
chest
just
in
said
world
he
football.
gives great head.
That's not what I said.
That's what he said, guys.
That's not what I said.
Write in. Tell us what you think about that.
Okay, yeah. To be fair, great head. But, I mean, he lost the tactical battle there because he didn't play those three in midfield. He didn't allow Pogba to be let off the leash, so he ran around like a headless monkey.
In a very limited space. I didn't say he wasn't
dreadful.
that dynamic midfielder that we saw for France or
No.
for Juventus. I mean, he was non-effectual.
But again, because of the system that we played, that system, this is where I'll come back to Rooney, the system that we play with Rooney at number 10 restricts Pogba and makes sure that he has to play deeper. He still occasionally picked up the ball and ran with it and was excellent when he was driving forward.
This is all Rooney's fault.
Not all Rooney's fault. Actually, I thought, to be brutally honest with you, I thought Rooney had a pretty good game when he was shifted out to the right.
He did. I think he was very good out on the right.
He was, again, and in the last podcast, where did I say to start him?
You did.
Out on the right.
You said like a defensive right winger.
Yeah, and that's what they should have stuck him.
Yeah.
They should have let him track either De Bruyne or
Sterling
Kolarov,
or
anyone.
Yeah.
Or Nolito, anyone who was causing havoc down there. He could have been the man to double mark and then break. But we didn't use that system. What we did was we started with a half-cooked Mkhitaryan, and I don't blame him. His performance reminds me of, do you remember when Patrice Evra made his debut for United in a derby.
I try and forget every United game ever played.
Fair enough. Well, let me regale you with the story. He played the first half. He was terrible. He got yanked off at halftime. Everyone went, "Who is this scrawny little sucker who's clearly not made for the Premier League?" The derby is not the place to hand a full debut to any player. Any player. It's too hard.
How many players completely kill a debut like that? I mean, very few.
Very few. So, I mean, I can't blame Mkhitaryan. He was okay. Like, at least he was trying.
I think it was a little bit scapegoated, but
more
because they had to make way for Rashford and change the system a bit, and they needed Rooney on there because they still needed someone to plug holes that were being found.
But I mean, that job should have been Herrera and Schneiderlin.
Yeah, that's
with
true.
Pogba moving forward into that number 10 spot, driving through the midfield in a classic 4-3-3, so we could exploit the width left behind by City.
So would you say this is 80% Mourinho era?
Yeah, I definitely would. I think
he was outthought then. That means
he was definitely outthought.
Again, he has been beaten by
by a tactical mastermind. And I mean, beaten also by, I'm going to call it the best player in the league, in De Bruyne. He was unbelievable.
I'm not going to call that yet. I still think Sergio Aguero is the best player in the league.
Yeah, and even without him, they look so good.
Well, you do. Let's go back to our very first podcast when I proved to the world that I know nothing and probably am not qualified to be doing this podcast. I said that they are an Aguero side and that without him, they will struggle, and that's why they won't win the league.
To be fair to you, you did say that I'm willing to see what happens under Pep.
Absolutely, I did say that, but I also categorically said, because I truly believe that he's impossible to replace.
Yeah.
I just don't know who else, unless you were getting Lionel Messi, I don't know who fits that Aguero role, apart from Sergio himself. So I just looked at them then and they didn't miss him.
No.
They didn't miss him.
It's scary, isn't it?
It's really scary.
I'll tell you what we missed, though. Defending.
Yeah.
I mean,
that?
I will say in Mourinho's favour, you couldn't expect just Blint to completely lose De Bruyne on that little flick header. He basically didn't even react. Even the offside, when he could have played him offside. I'm trying to think of his name now, and it's Iheanacho. He could have played Iheanacho offside. Oh, yeah. Instead, he's standing there like an idiot, just ball watching, being like, "How did he beat me? How did De Bruyne just go past me?"
What's funnier? He sticks his arm up.
I know.
That's what's going to make him offside. The fact that you're asking for it. I mean, these aren't the days of Fergie. Man United don't get the little cheat victories anymore. Wow. Fergie time.
Wow. We did have a little bit of Mourinho time. It just wasn't enough. But I was talking to some Manchester United fans who, after this game was over...
They were coherent. They spoke some version of English that resembled reality.
It was the next day after a lot of tears, I think. But a lot of them were saying to me, and by the way, I completely disagree with this point. They were saying, the result, while not great... The performance gives us solace. Because the first half was terrible, but forget about that. The second half, we looked so good. Bollocks to that point. We were so bad in the first half. We were shambolic.
You can't do that.
We couldn't get our best players in the game. We couldn't get Pogba into the game.
For example, if you have that half against Arsenal, against Liverpool now, who we'll get to, against Leicester, against Tottenham, against Chelsea, you're going to lose these matches. You lose the game. And you're going to end up 6th or 7th.
Yeah, exactly.
First, so.
Exactly.
And we need to think about my tip for United winning the league. So they need to, if for no one else, do it for me. Make me look smart.
Says the Liverpool fans.
Make me look smart. Well, Liverpool can't win the league, so that's a different story.
Yeah, well, we'll get to them in a moment. But the United goal.
Oh, gosh.
Fascinating. How did you find Claudio Bravo on debut?
I'm sorry, who?
The keeper.
Who are we talking about?
The keeper.
Sorry, what?
Exactly.
I don't know what you're talking about because
terrible.
He was so bad. I'm trying to forget that he even exists. What was that? Honestly, I thought he was awful. He reminded me of Mignolet. Simon Mignolet.
Wow, that's a big call.
He had some good shot-stopping moments, but oh my gosh, I know he was brought for his feet, but those feet were missing. He needed crutches. Let me tell you that.
I will say this about him. I mean, the first half an hour, the first 35 minutes, he was destroying us. They were building from the back so beautifully.
Fine, but that does not make a game. That's not enough.
I agree with you.
He's not Premier League worthy. Whether he will be or not.
First game in. Okay.
Yeah, whether he will become that or not.
Yeah.
Ooh, Pep's got his work cut out for him.
I think he does.
It's very hard to build a player's confidence up from there. As much as he made... Yeah, anyway, I think you're going to... Yeah.
I am. Speaking of Pep and building up some confidence, did you hear his comment after the game? Because this is a corker. Have a listen.
What Claudio today did, it was one of the best performances I ever seen.
What is he talking about?
I'm going to put it down to
he
a
had one of the
language.
best games ever?
I mean, maybe
What is
it's lost in translation. Maybe in Spanish, it sounds more like he was awful. I wish I could have replaced him. Where is Joe Hart? I think that's what he meant to say.
That's
lost in just a couple of words differently
I get
in
it.
Spanish.
Yeah, I understand.
Could be, Like I think there's a if you say pie de pollo in Spanish versus pay de pollo, which they're spelt the same but said differently. One means my cousin is a chicken, or I'd like a chicken fillet or something. Like it's that sort of thing. So obviously whatever it sounded like in Spanish meant he's somehow a good kid. I just can't. I'm trying to excuse him because no, it's just idiotic.
Yeah. Can I play a new game with you? It's a game that I'm about to debut this week.
Please do it.
It's called Who Made the Dumber Comment? Pep or Allardyce? Which comment was dumber? That Rooney
my
can do anything he
goodness.
wants in midfield, or that Claudio Bravo had one of the best games he's ever seen? Who's dumber?
I'm going to say Pep's.
I agree.
Because
I think it's so ridiculous.
Allardyce has no respect, and his opinion doesn't really mean anything. So
Fair. I have to agree. Honestly,
Just get him another beer.
It's one of the most baffling comments I've ever heard from a Premier League manager. Mind-boggling.
I get wanting to bring your players.
Yeah,
up.
of
I was going to
course.
say pep them up, but that's a pun too
good,
far.
Good pun. It's one for the sun.
But oh gosh, I totally get why and what the premise is.
Yeah.
But there are different ways. I think we said it off air. I mean, if it were me, I would have said, look, it was his first
It's
match.
his first game.
He had glimpses of what I know he can be.
First game in a derby
Against
First game in
United,
England, yeah.
these sort of things can
Nerves
happen.
can happen, yeah.
He was playing against some of the one of the most potent attacking forces in the
Yeah.
league. I can understand it, and I think he's going to be excellent. He has all the hallmarks of my Premier League keeper that I expected.
Yeah.
And that's good. That way, he's not really wrong.
Yeah.
And I can be like, okay, Pep.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
But
I
what
getcha.
he said was just nonsensical.
Okay, I've got one more question before we move on from this game.
I have two more answers.
Okay, wow. Okay, excellent.
I don't know how that's possible, but I do.
But okay, yeah, you can multiple answer. I don't mind. The Claudio Bravo tackle on Rooney, was it a penalty? I want to know from a Liverpool fan's point of view.
I yelled out penalty when it happened. Having seen the replay a few times, it was as close to 50-50 enough that I can understand either call, whether it was a penalty or wasn't, but the ref didn't get that benefit. So me, if I was the ref, I'd have called it a penalty.
Here's how this would have changed the game, by the way. If that was a penalty, that's a red card.
But that's the point, and I think that's why he didn't call it.
Yeah.
So refs are very cognizant of ruining games, especially derbies and things like that.
Absolutely.
So as much as it was a United home match, and usually, referees tend to favour the home team, and I'm not just saying that because United have cheated for years.
Wow. Wow.
I mean it because they pretty much
Don't even
favour-
slide it in subtly. Just, wow. Just
pretty-
blatant cheating now.
They pretty much favour every home side. So that was brutal.
That was terrible. To be fair, I didn't think it was a penalty. When I saw it live, I thought it was a 50-50.
And I'm with you though. Like
Yeah.
I said, it was very tight for me. If I had to make
Call
a
it on the
call,
spot?
I possibly would have said penalty.
No, fair. And this is why I brought it up, because it was the game-changing moment for me.
It was.
I mean, outside of Ibra's miss at the end of the second half, which was also slightly tragic, he had a lot more time than he thought
I
he
think
did.
Clattenburg had a good match as referee.
He had one of those games where I think both sides walked away thinking that they were unhappy with him, which probably means he did an excellent job.
Yeah, it's true. Because I know Mourinho really went on about that, but it was 50-50.
Yeah.
Like I said, I may have called it differently myself at the time, but given the footage I've seen, I think he made the right call for himself at the time.
Speaking of the post-match comments, not by Pep this time, did you hear Mourinho throw his own players under the bus a little bit?
Massively.
Classic Mourinho. This is one of the reasons I don't like him as a manager.
But usually, I mean, he became a little bit famous at Chelsea for always taking the blame for his players, protecting his flock. I mean, he made this whole big deal about how I protect my players. You know.
We've got a little
I
pony.
don't think that was a very good Mourinho impression at all.
No, it's pretty terrible.
What the hell was that?
No, I don't know what that was.
Goodness.
That was like halfway between Rafa Benitez and the waiter from Fawlty Towers. I don't know what you were thinking.
I've got a pair of headphones sitting in front of me that I'm pretty sure would have done a better job with that than me. Not plugged into anything
Not
either.
plugged in, yeah.
No. Look, that was surprising to me because I just didn't think that would be... I think he's changed since he got sacked at Chelsea. I think he's not the same confident, cocky guy.
He's
because
not.
He's just not had the same success for a while now, not consistently. Even when he won the league, it's not been the same. So I don't know. I mean, why do you think he did that? Because it's a really bizarre reaction.
Yeah,
from him.
really weird move. I don't really understand it, if I'm being honest with you. If there's one time when you can't bag out your players, it's after basically the biggest game of the season for your players.
Correct. Yeah.
And you've come out and gone,
You suck.
yeah, you suck.
Yeah, you suck.
Why would you do that? That's
They
a terrible
sucked.
thing to say.
They didn't do what I said. They were crap. I had to change it. I was the one.
Yeah,
that
I
changed
had
the
to bring
game.
us back into the game. What is that?
Yeah, I mean, claiming glory like that, he's clearly feeling a lot of pressure
Yeah.
sitting at
He's
that
nervous.
United seat.
I think
yeah.
I think he's genuinely nervous.
Yeah. Even though I don't feel like United is the sort of side that's going to be just flipping managers. I know Moyes
No.
kind of came in and out, and I know that,
but that was
Van
a
Gaal
debacle.
came in and out.
Debacle.
But to be fair, I don't think anyone would have put up with those two
Staying at
managers
for
staying
the
at
club any
helm.
longer. Yeah.
You would have if it was Wenger who came in and had a bad run. You might have if it was
Maybe.
Pochettino. You probably would have
A
if it was
younger
Klopp.
coach, who's
Yeah.
building up a philosophy.
Koeman,
yeah.
you totally get it, but not for those two. So
No.
I feel like Mourinho doesn't need to put this much pressure on himself. I mean, that United side, I still feel is right up there.
Yeah,
I mean,
pound for pound, it's one of the
good-
best.
Yeah, it's as good as anybody's. They've got to sort out that defense, though.
They do. Now, after that game, they do. But, hey, you know what? Speaking of players in squads, let's bring up the Paul Scholes comments. You're just saying pound for pound, if United are one of the best teams in the comp, Paul Scholes disagrees with you.
Your mate disagrees.
He
in
does.
fact, he doesn't think apparently anybody can match Man City. In fact,
After that game,
he said that only David Silva,
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne,
Yeah.
and
Aguero.
Aguero are world-class players in the Premier
Yeah.
League. I mean, the old boy's gone senile. He's
think?
gone senile.
You
Get
think
him
he's
his
just lost
pills.
it?
Get him his pills. Get him a seat next to Grandpa Simpson.
Yeah.
Because that guy
Can you name
has
me?
lost it.
Can you name me 3 better players, or just one better player in the Premier League than those 3?
Okay, this is a tough question to answer in some ways, because do you mean better players as who they are, or are you talking about accomplished?
Better players for who they are than those 3
because
players.
Pogba immediately. I mean, Pogba. Yes, he's been absent so far, but he's at a new club. So
Yeah.
I think that's really gross.
His
unfair to
new old
compare
club.
him yet. Yeah, his new old club. That's
Yeah.
right. But he's phenomenal. I think Coutinho is world class, and I'm not just saying that because he's at Liverpool. He is genuinely world class.
I disagree, but yeah.
I mean, you're wrong, but that's common. I'm used to that.
Yeah, you're getting used to it.
I would also
What about
say that
Hazard?
I think Mahrez is world class.
Okay.
I think
Only one season, but I see where
still,
you're coming
he still
from.
is world class.
Okay. Yeah.
I think
Ozil?
You just said
Sanchez?
I think Ozil, Sanchez, Hazard. I mean, come on, Hazard had one bad season, but
Yeah, I agree.
But apart from that, he is excellent.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
I agree. David May.
I mean, I don't want to say. God almighty. Not Teddy Sheringham, that's for sure.
Oh!
The best big toe in the league, maybe, but that's about it.
Treble winner. Anyway.
Everyone can be lucky.
Look, I see. Wow, I see where Paul Scholes is coming from with his.
No, I
comment.
don't.
No,
He's wrong.
No, I see. Let me finish.
He's wrong.
I-
Anyway, guys, that's all we have time for. I will have a new
co-host next week.
Next week.
Yeah, good luck with that. Don't know who's
Literally
gonna
anyone. This pen I'm holding
Yeah.
has greater insight than Garfield.
Yeah, it's not as red though.
That's true. It's black.
It's a black pen.
Don't you go black?
Yeah, with pens, I agree. It's the best colour. No, I was going to say, I kind of agree with Scholes in that I don't think there's 3 better players in the league than those 3, but there are other world-class players. Coutinho definitely not being one.
He's world class. I mean, you can deny it, but his record.
You've got
stands
3
on its
classier players than him.
own. Maybe, but that doesn't mean he's not world class.
So you're saying you've got 4 world-class players?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Wow,
100%,
really?
100%. Yeah.
Okay, who are you
The
for?
problem
Just
is,
out of pure
problem is
interest
we don't
now.
have any once you've passed the midfield.
That is very true.
So
Very true.
That's really bad.
Who do you think the 4 are? I'm just curious.
Well, I have to say Mane now. He's world class.
He's
now.
exceptional, isn't he?
He has to keep it going, obviously, for me to say categorically.
Yeah.
But definitely him. Sturridge is, for sure. His scoring record is beyond doubt. In some of the biggest matches.
I'm just going to nod quietly.
But I'm right.
I think he's a class below world class.
No, I think he's world class. I think
I know.
I think anyone would have him.
Chelsea
Better
didn't.
than Rooney.
Oh, yeah, but it's like a dustbin's better than Rooney at
So
the moment.
what?
That's not saying anything. A
more
dustbin would have a
accomplished.
better first touch than Wayne Rooney
He's
at the
more
moment.
accomplished than Rashford.
Yeah, definitely more accomplished.
He's got a better goal scoring record than anyone in the Premier League.
I'll tell you what he's got a better record at, being injured, than anyone in the league.
What? So what?
He's the new Darren Anderson.
Who cares?
Look
at his goal scoring record.
It's very good. It's very good.
It's better than very good. He has I think of his goals, it's the fewest amount of games to reach his amount of goals.
Yeah, it's definitely
of anyone
right up
playing
there.
right now.
Yeah, it's definitely right up there.
So, I mean, you've got a pretty brittle argument to say that he isn't world class. Very brittle.
I'm saying part of being world class is consistency in terms of also being able to stay on the pitch.
But his consistency comes when he's on the pitch, he scores.
Yeah, no, I can't deny that. He definitely, when he's on the pitch, he's just that little rung just below world class.
Still world class.
Okay, fair enough.
Who else at
Firmino?
Liverpool is world class. He's close to being, yes. I see just a little more, but I think if anyone is next on the list, it's probably him.
Yeah, well, there's your 4.
Yeah. And
Anyway,
I think
we should probably review that game since we've started to talk about Liverpool.
Good point. Good point.
Let's
yeah.
talk about Liverpool versus Leicester.
I mean, you've hit it up, haven't you? I mean, this game. I said to you that I was nervous because Mahrez was coming up against Moreno. Well, that did not happen, everyone. I'm so happy. I mean, I don't think I'd ever be happier in my life to see a midfielder as a left back than I was when I saw the team sheet for this game.
Yeah.
I honestly was really nervous. I thought we are stuffed. All they have to do is get on top of us early and we'll crumble because we're still building confidence. We had a confidence shattering game against Burnley.
Yeah.
But having said that, I think Leicester and Liverpool contrast really well in that we've both won games, drawn and lost, and we're probably not where we want to be in the league at this point in time. So it was a really interesting clash. I think this was a really bad loss for Leicester. Really, really bad. They would have fancied their chances against a Liverpool side that had 2 midfielders in defence.
Yep.
Lucas Leiva, of all midfielders, and James Milner. So I was immediately nervous. And mind you, the first 2.5 minutes didn't settle my nerves either because Leicester were all over Liverpool in the first couple.
Yeah.
But then it all changed. It's just that goal changed everything, and Firmino played out of his game.
He was
this
amazing.
game, he was world class.
He was amazing, I agree. I'll tell you this, though, for free as a Manchester United fan. Klopp is building a team. You know what I really love about Klopp, by the way? I was going to bring this up against Mourinho. One of the reasons I think Mourinho is a very good coach, but I'm not a huge fan of his. Mourinho builds his teams from the back. Klopp builds his teams from the front.
He does.
And we are finally seeing some of that heavy metal football that he's so famous for.
He wasn't. Yeah, that was it. We saw
Liverpool looked unbelievable in patches in that game. They were Metallica. They were riffing away. They were playing the Four Horsemen.
Yeah,
they were
big
bring
time.
It was it was unbelievable. Like there were
Cram
times,
another couple in. Come on.
Yeah, okay, fine.
What do you got?
I got it. Unforgiven. They were unforgiving. There you go.
That was pretty good. I did put you on the
thank
spot
you.
there.
Yeah, well, it's no end to Sandman, but what can he do?
But if you have a look at Liverpool's goal scorers, it's kind of essentially embodied their entire season.
Yeah,
Firmino,
please.
Mane, Lallana.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to talk about Lallana quickly because
Yeah.
on the forums, I've been doing a lot of Lallana defending in the past couple of weeks because everyone is talking about Mane, and rightfully so. The guy is so exciting and so amazing. And
He's one of the most exciting players in the league.
I'm going to carve a wooden idol of him and worship him at my desk. He's
Yeah.
amazing. And Roberto Firmino keeps
He's
stepping
starting to
up.
shine. Yeah.
He's starting to shine. He's hit his straps and he's phenomenal to
The
watch.
quintessential Klopp
And of course,
player.
Coutinho. I mean, that goal he scored against Arsenal.
He can
We'll
score
be
some
talking about that the
amazing
rest
goals.
of the season because
Yeah.
it could be goal of the season.
It could
already.
be, yeah.
So all of that's great, but secretly, Lallana is doing.
He's the glue.
He's glue, and he's just doing what I didn't expect him to do, which is stepping up and taking a game by the scruff of the neck in patches where you don't expect it.
Yeah, no, you know the interesting thing about Lallana that I find now, when he was at Southampton, for example, he could never see out a game. He'd always be substituted because
that's right.
it wasn't
Even
that
with
it
Rodgers.
wasn't that he was unfit. But now he's a beast. He's so
opposite.
fit. Klopp has made him this machine.
He
He's the
ran
glue
the
that
most
holds
kilometers of any player.
exactly. He's the glue now that holds that Liverpool team together. And G is looking good.
He embraces the gegenpress.
Yeah,
I mean,
he loves it. You can tell. He always
puts in-
did. He always did under Pochettino, for example. He was always really good at the gegenpress. But in this Liverpool side, he's the perfect cog for you guys.
But he's
an
found the
amazing
goal
player.
scoring, and what he's getting end product now. He
Yeah.
was all about the tricks, and he looked kind of cute on the ball.
blind alley tricks, yeah.
But that was it. There was no.
Yeah.
That was what I really noticed under Rodgers. He wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he was really relying hard on having Sterling just off his shoulder.
Yeah.
Now that that's not how they play, because Mane's cutting in so much, he's really having to do just that bit more.
Yeah.
Past that next player. And he's finding himself by passing that next player. He's pretty much in a goal-scoring position.
That's right,
some
yeah.
of the time.
Yeah.
And he's found his finish.
Yeah, he's found his niche.
I mean, he's scored a few goals now in a row. He scored
Yeah.
that goal for England. He scored this goal, which was a good one.
That
And it
was
was at a very tense
great
moment.
goal.
And this was a tense moment for
Yeah.
Lallana. I mean, the whole Liverpool side, we'd conceded to Vardy, at the end of the half with that just
Yeah,
calamitous moment with
Terrible.
Lucas Leiva. I mean, he had
Laughably bad.
Did you hear Lucas's comment afterwards? It
Do tell.
was pretty funny. He's like, oh, it's always nice to get your first assist of the season. It was really funny. I got to give him, if you're going to hammer yourself,
Yeah,
that's
do it the
pretty
right
funny.
way. Yeah,
do it the right way.
That's pretty good.
So overall, I mean, I just want to say that I want to get your thoughts on it because, I mean, I know I've spoken endlessly because I love Liverpool, but that match was very uplifting. But
Yeah.
what I'm going to say is going to sound really bizarre for a Liverpool fan. It didn't necessarily give me anything to go on because I already know we play well against those teams.
Yeah.
I know we can play well against Leicester. I know will probably play well against United.
Yeah.
We'll probably do well this week against Chelsea.
I'm more worried about Liverpool than I am City.
Yeah, but I can totally
Playing
get that.
them, I mean.
I can
Yeah.
totally get that.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense to me. What I want to see is I want to see Liverpool completely smash in a row Watford, West Brom, and Hull. Boom, boom, boom. We have to beat those sides. And
Thought you were going to go with
it.
West Ham for all the W's there, but sure.
Well, the thing with West Ham, we're
Yeah.
going to. Oh, actually, I'll save it. We're going to get to West Ham.
We will get to them.
But this game was so brilliant and I loved it. And I can see why Liverpool fans get carried away because it was... You're not even a Liverpool fan. You have to admit, that was glorious to watch.
Absolutely. They're
It
my
was
favourite
stunning.
team to watch at the moment.
It was stunning.
As I've said to you many times, Klopp is my favourite coach.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, out of all the great coaches in this league, he's the best.
Yeah,
He's the
that's
best
such
coach
a
in the
huge
league.
call. But I can see why you're saying it because he's... I mean, what he's doing to this... He's talking about a Liverpool side
He's
that was
transformed
just
them.
awful.
Yeah.
It was
He's
just
transformed
awful.
them.
Oh, my goodness. Under Rodgers, what was that? But, yeah, no, it's...
I'll tell you what it was. It was a very good team when it had Suarez, and then a not so good one when they didn't.
It was a Suarez side. It
Yeah.
proved everything, didn't it?
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with Rodgers.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Brendan. I'd just like to say this for all of our Scottish fans.
Hey, Brendan.
Well, well done to our Celtic. Absolutely smashing the crap out of Rangers. I just wanted to mention it. Just well done.
If I was to take any team from Scotland into the Premier League, it would be Celtic.
You know what? I'm going to bring that up on the next podcast, so we will
Excellent.
revisit that. Anyway, let's go to the next fixture.
Yep, let's do it. Arsenal, Southampton. Now, I have some pretty strong thoughts about the game, but I'm curious. I want to hear you first because I don't know if I'm just maybe getting a little fed up. I just want to hear what you have to say. Arsenal, they won.
They did. That much is true.
They won.
I thought they were poor.
Okay, so is that good enough? I mean, am I nitpicking here by saying that 2-1 for Arsenal in a match they should have won more easily than that? A team that is winless already, under the pump.
And is trying to find its feet
He's
under a
just
new
spent a
manager
bomb.
with a new formation.
Yep.
Yeah, and Wenger's just spent an absolute fortune
Spent a bomb.
for one of the first times in his career he's actually
For
spent.
the first time.
Yeah.
He's now getting the criticism that I would usually reserve for someone like, Mourinho when he was at Chelsea or
Yeah.
Mourinho now that he's at United and you've spent
Yeah.
a bomb.
Well, we said last week, hey, you know what? Arsenal might come out and hand someone a whooping.
And it was the opposite of that. They barely got through.
Yeah, I thought they came off second best in that game, even though they won.
How did you feel about the penalty?
I didn't like it. I didn't.
Soft.
Yeah, very soft.
Soft. I get it. It followed the rules. And technically, yeah.
I was about to say, yes, it was a penalty, but, soft.
Like
so
soft like baby food.
Yeah, squishy, mishy baby food.
Yeah,
so soft.
baby food, big time.
Crack
Crack out the Heinz, bring it on.
I mean,
That
the
was baby
Koscielny
food.
goal was fantastic.
Was it a hometown call?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go with yes. I'm going to go with yes.
If that's at the Dell,
yeah.
sorry, it's not at the Dell, St. Mary's.
Yeah,
Gee, I went old school.
Yeah. Mind you, I wish it was still at the
I
Dell.
know, I
Remember
love
those
the
days?
Dell.
That was great.
If that was at St. Mary's, that's not a penalty. I'm going to say, look, no one ever knows that for real, but I'm going to say that I think that was a hometown call, and I think that otherwise was a draw.
Yeah, I think Southampton deserved a draw.
They did. They deserved that point.
I definitely don't think... Arsenal kind of deserved to lose if I'm going down any path there.
My only consolation is that strike from Koscielny
Oh, amazing.
deserves any win.
Yeah, it does. That was amazing.
In my review
yeah.
online, I wrote that deserved, to bring it level. No one would be embarrassed to be, have a goal pegged backed by that. But I mean, that goal deserves to win a match.
I got a question for you. Is he the best defender in the Premier League? Let me ask a better question. Can you think of anyone better?
Alderweireld?
Actually, yeah, no, that's a really good
like
point.
him.
Yeah, no, he's amazing as well.
I really like him.
I think those two are the two best.
Same.
If
I
I'm
was to
being
pick an
honest.
all-star
Those
side,
two would be, yeah.
Those are my two.
They wouldn't like
central
each other.
defenders. No, they would not.
They would not like each other.
No, they would not.
There would be some not so nice crosstown rivalry,
Okay.
but those are the
if
two
there
best.
was a punch-on between the two, who do you pick? Go.
Koscielny.
Koscielny.
Yeah.
Look,
do you agree?
I'm going to agree with you. I think Koscielny karate kicks that guy.
I think he
chops him.
I think he'd fight rough. He would.
Chur.
He would fight French and dirty. That's
I think
what
so.
I think.
French and dirty? Is that a thing?
I mean, it is now. Let's coin it.
What does it mean? Is it
French
French onion?
Yeah. He'll just fight French.
He'll just get
fight
the dip.
dirty.
He'll just get French onion dip and start pegging it.
Yeah.
in him.
He'll fight
He's
French.
Like,
he'll
my
fight
eyes!
dirty.
I'm not
Yeah.
supposed to get
What
pudding in it.
What's going on?
Oh, no.
Well, in summary, Arsenal
Not good
got
enough.
very, very lucky, and it was not good enough.
Not good enough.
Let's go to the next one.
Bournemouth, West Brom 1-0. I am happy. Garfield, I am happy.
Why are you happy?
I like Bournemouth.
They played
like Bournemouth.
really well.
Everyone, you over there, I like Bournemouth. That's actually a television.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hi TV.
Hi, TV.
Bournemouth were really good in that game. I mean, they peppered that goal. And I've got to say, Wilson's goal was good enough to win any match.
Any match.
Oh,
Any match.
gorgeous finish.
Callum Wilson.
Good player.
Very talented.
Very good
you were
player.
just saying, weren't you, how well... we were saying it last week, Wilson and
Wilshere.
Ibe.
And Ibe as well.
And
And
you were
Wilshere.
saying those three guys, if they strike up a little...
Yeah.
Although I got to say, it was obviously, Wilshere only came on.
Yeah,
later
I
in
mean,
the match,
he's
but-
new there. That's fair. I mean, he's
but
just
Ibe
betting
had
in.
a cracker.
He
I
did,
was
he
dangerous
did, yeah,
the
he had a
entire
good game.
match.
Yeah.
He was constantly getting in behind defence. He was putting
Yeah.
in crosses. He was quick. He was incisive. He was causing West Brom all sorts of problems. What I will say is I don't think that means much. I still tip West Brom to go down. So
Well, it looks like Poulos is going to lose his job now.
yeah, that doesn't bother me. I don't really care for Poulos.
I know you don't, but he's, as I said last week.
I know you two are butt buddies, but
Well, no, they were not that bad. But what I am
butt
saying
buddies.
is,
They're butt
what-
pirates together on the White Jasmine.
Wow.
I had to pick the most fairy one that I could.
On the
Not
Pacific.
the Black Pearl. The White Jasmine.
Army hearties.
Sorry.
Let's ride together to the sack. No, well, he's about to lose his job because the club's about to be taken over.
Yeah, and they haven't done well.
Yeah, but I mean, what's his brief? His brief is keep us in the Premier League. And as I've said before,
But they
there's
won't-
no
they won't
better,
keep-
but there's no better manager at keeping you up.
Yawn.
So, okay, all right then, all right, smarty pants. Let's move on to the next game.
Burnley.
Oh, hey, you know what? Just before we do,
No,
I would
Burnley
no,
Hull,
I would
1-1.
No, okay, I want to say this about Wilson just before we move on.
And that's what we have to put.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Wilson, I think, is going to be this year's version of Vardy. Not quite as many goals, but I think he's going to be the player that comes out and surprises everyone. He'll finish with 15 Premier League goals. He'll get a call up to the England team.
I'm going to say you're wrong.
Okay, why?
I think he's going to be excellent, but I also don't think that... I don't think he's going to do a Vardy.
Oh, we'll find out. All right, next game.
We will. Burnley Hull. I was pretty excited for this game because I thought it was going to say a lot, but it ended up telling me nothing because they drew.
Well,
again, proof I know nothing.
I know
I'm just going to go.
It told us everything.
No,
that
it did.
Both teams are
No,
in trouble.
I gotta
Hull were
say,
the better
though,
side. Hull
I
were the
was-
better team.
I was more upset for Hull because I think they probably should have won that game. And I got to say, in Fergie time to win that, at least it was Snodgrass.
Yeah.
I'm not
They're
a more
amazing,
deserving
yeah,
person. I mean, fresh off a hat trick for Scotland.
Yeah, that's
It's a
right.
hat-trick.
Yeah, yep.
And I mean, a goal before that. I mean, he's on a really good run.
Yeah.
And he's just everywhere.
He
He's
is.
got a really interesting story, doesn't he?
Yeah,
That
he
big
does.
long injury where he was out
Yeah.
for like 15 months or
Yeah,
something.
over a year, yeah.
Yeah, so he's got a good story. I am, I'm really happy for him.
And for a player as well that was always accused of being very good but not Premier League class. Remember that? It was always Snodgrass, good player, great championship
Exactly.
player,
Little squad player,
not
yeah.
Premier League class.
Yeah.
He's proving now that, he really could be. On the other end,
has to keep
Defoe, that goal.
Well,
that was
I mean,
gorgeous.
It was stunning. So that's why. See, this is why I temper whatever I say about Hull. I feel sorry for Hull because I feel like they should have won the match. But that goal from Burnley, it got something for them. They
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
point. You got to
Yeah.
feel like a goal like that.
Yeah.
It gets a
does-
point.
Yeah, it
a
gets
point.
you the point. Yeah. I'll tell you the most interesting thing about that game for me. the two Keane twins played in that game on opposite sides. It's the first time.
Oh, it is the first time. I was going to ask you.
First time twins have played.
Actually has good information. What do you know?
First time that twins have played in a match on opposite sides.
Folks, next week I may have Garfield back.
Oh, wow. I've won my way back.
He's got his job back.
I'm back, baby.
He has his job back.
Let's go to the next fixture.
Like I have any real power here. Middlesbrough Palace. Actually, probably after the 2 games of the round, which very rarely happens, we have 2 matches like that. This was probably the most intriguing one for me prior to actually seeing them. There are obviously more seismic results that occurred, but this is the one that I was really interested in seeing because he had Middlesbrough on a good run.
And what were we talking about?
Yeah.
What were we talking about? You have Zaha, you have Benteke.
I'm with you.
Boom.
I'm with you. They killed it.
They were great.
They killed it.
Yeah.
They killed it.
A classic Benteke goal as well.
It was pretty much exactly what I expected to see from them. And what I will say, though, is after that, they kind of... I won't say shut up shop because they definitely didn't, just put 12 behind the ball.
Yeah.
But they absolutely, bring on an extra player.
Yeah, fair enough.
Flout the rules.
Yeah, great.
No,
so you're going to go with the home crowd advantage. Someone's running on the field. But I just
don't feel like they followed that up well enough. They let Middlesbrough right back into the game.
It did.
Middlesbrough started coming all over them. I mean, it really did help. It really did help that Negredo was, obviously he's clearly an informed striker. He was causing them all sorts of problems.
Yeah,
all sorts of problems.
So Stuart Downing.
Yeah,
I didn't really realise he was still playing half the time.
And back at Middlesbrough.
I know, back where it all began.
Back home.
Yeah, good for him. I'm happy for him. He had such a strange career.
Yeah, I mean, he was at Liverpool for a while, so you'll never walk alone. I got to support the kid. I never had anything against Downing. I just know that he should never have been bought for the price that we paid for him.
Yeah, no, that was a weird one.
If we bought him as a squad player for $8 million, I would have said, okay, you're fine. He's got some talent.
Yeah.
But you had this idea that we were just coming into about this whole Moneyball idea and, what are their stats.
It was slightly ridiculous.
Yeah, and there are some players, this is proof that stats don't tell you everything. Just because you put in a certain number of crosses or whatever, what they didn't tell you was that they were mostly useless. And they were at, waist height, which didn't help. But anyway, I mean, let's not go to the past. He had a good game.
He did.
And I think that Middlesbrough probably thought they were good for a 1-1 draw, but...
No, I thought Palace deserved it. I thought they deserved it. I've got to say, I'm loving just the early signs there of the relationship that's burgeoning between Zaha and Benteke. I mean,
it's already obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so obvious already that this is exactly what you want from. Pardew's doing his best to impersonate that really good Newcastle team he had, where he's got his big man up front, his Andy Carroll-esque player, surrounded by some good players, including Cabaye.
When they were actually doing quite well.
Yeah, including Cabaye, who he just, has back in that team.
When they were a top 10 side.
Yeah, exactly. But he's got Zaha there now, who's a tricky winger with pace, who puts in good crosses, bada bing, bada boom, they're going to upset some apple carts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so Christian Benteke is his Demba Ba, maybe.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not quite as athletic.
Well, he's Andy Carroll.
I think that's really grossly unfair to Christian Benteke. I think he's miles better than Andy Carroll.
You'll never walk alone, though.
Yeah, but still, they're both, so I'm allowed to compare them.
You are allowed to compare them, but that season he had for Newcastle, he was pretty.
You can leave.
I've lost my job again.
Yeah,
okay, great.
You're done.
No, but that season he had for Newcastle, that Carroll had for Newcastle, he was really good.
For sure. I mean, he's got that thunderous left foot.
Yeah.
I think he was a bit of a square peg in a round hole, very much like Christian Benteke.
Yeah, at Liverpool, yeah, definitely.
Liverpool are basically hit or miss with strikers. We either get someone phenomenal or someone crap.
Yeah.
For the system, anyway.
Yeah, no, for the system, I agree.
It's just never in between. It's never someone who's going to, plug away, 14 goals. And you're like, that's pretty good. But not amazing, but pretty good. We either get Suarez, Torres, or Benteke, or
Peter
Carroll.
Crouch. Peter Crouch.
I quite liked Peter Crouch.
Yeah, no, so do I. Secretly. Anyway, let's move on to the next one.
Yes. Stoke City, Tottenham.
Oh, what a whooping.
Yeah, I mean, there's no denying that was a whooping. What I'm going to say is that I'm still not convinced that Kane is
back in his form.
No,
I'll tell you who is back in his form.
He scored the last goal of the 4.
He did.
And the heart had already
missed
been
a terrible chance
he did.
as well, yeah.
And Stoke, their heart had already been torn out, barbecued, rotisserie cooked, served in a Greek gyros pita. It was done. They were done. Really done.
Yeah.
Like a Christmas turkey.
They definitely were. I'll tell you who is back in form, though, after signing his new contract, Eriksen. He bossed that game.
Yep.
He was
amazing.
amazing.
Son kind of made that match, though, right?
Hey, well, he did. What a great squad player to have.
I know.
What a great squad player to have.
I got to say, that was a little better than I thought he could play.
He was always very good in Germany.
I agree, but this was a little better than I expected.
He's taken a long time. Yeah, he looked
crisp.
good. He looked good. He's taken a while to settle.
He scored the two goals, didn't he?
Yeah, 2.
And he just looked dangerous the whole match.
Yeah, his first left-footed finish was just exquisite. Just boom.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Just opened the body and just slid it in. No, but I thought Eriksen bossed that game. I mean, everything good came from him. Now that he's signed that new contract, now that he's
chill, isn't he?
Yeah, but remember we were saying not
Something
long ago.
seemed wrong, yeah.
We said as well, if he fires, Tottenham fire.
And they did.
And now they have.
Did they fire?
Yeah, and when they do fire.
This has single-handedly given me confidence because I know Stoke played badly, but I also feel like Tottenham made them play badly.
Yeah, Mark Hughes, there's a manager under pressure.
Big time. And I feel sorry for him because I think he's an underrated manager. I don't know what's going all wrong for him at Stoke.
Yeah, I think it's hard with Stoke because he's trying to take them out of that kind of, I know that you'll love this phrase, prehistoric football of Tony Pulis where they're all just blood and thunder. And he's trying to add some... the T-Rex. The prehistoric T-Rex of management. It'd still eat your life. But he's trying to create this new kind of synergy where he's got a bit of balls in the team, but also a lot of oomph going forward, that a bit more continental, a bit more European. And he hasn't quite been able to marry them together yet. So, I mean, I think he definitely deserves until at least January. But we'll see what happens there. I think they'll give him time.
Goals. They're not scoring goals.
Well, that's why they
putting them under pressure.
That's why they brought Boney in, in the hope of getting goals.
But to be fair, you got to give Wilfred Boney some time to settle in as well. But
particularly
he's not
learning
quite enough service.
Yeah, and learning players like Arnautovic, who's a great player, very interesting.
Arnautovic, he's good.
Yeah, he's really good. But he'd be hard to play with because he's so unpredictable.
And he's selfish.
He's very selfish well.
I like him, but he's selfish.
Yeah.
He likes to go it alone. He needs to start playing more with people around him.
No, I agree.
Bring in Boney because this is going to be the way that they get out of this quagmire.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So,
yeah, let's move on.
West Ham Watford, the battle of the W's.
What
a battle.
What a game.
My goodness.
What a game.
I mean, firstly, if you haven't watched the game, we're about to ruin it for you. But
you should actually go back and watch it.
Go watch it anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
You know why?
But watch it.
Also, there's a couple of insanely good goals in there. Even if you just watch the highlights, guys, this was a game. That Payet Rabona, please.
I am going to be taking some chronic alone time with that. I'm gonna you know what? I'm gonna just take some time off. I'm gonna go
start
find
readjusting yourself.
a log cabin somewhere, somewhere very quiet, unassuming, somewhere where no one can hear me or see me.
Just open up your little pocket watch and just have that picture there.
I'm just gonna pull that out on my phone and I'm gonna watch it on repeat for, I don't know, 6 to 7 years.
Insanely skillful. Insanely skillful.
It was glorious.
Did you hear? I'm pretty sure it was Troy Deeney's comment, though, that he said when he saw that, he said, right, you're taking the piss. And that's what got them back into the game. That's what gave them the courage.
I did not hear him say
That's what gave them the courage to go, screw this, we're getting them.
But he took the game by the scruff of the
He
neck.
did. When he does, he's a very good striker.
Hey, you were talking him up not even like what, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago?
A couple weeks ago.
No, sorry. In the transfer window wrap up with you. You were talking about Troy Deeney, and I don't think I gave you enough credit for that call because I think on the evidence of that, I mean, Troy Deeney, he took the game by the scruff of the neck.
On his day, he's a world beater. It's got to be on his day.
He's very good.
Yeah, on his day.
He's got some talent.
Yeah, he definitely does.
And
that chip on the keeper.
They were good for their 4 goals.
They were.
I can't even say that West Ham... Everyone's talking about the capitulation of West Ham, and yes, they became shaky in defence, but they were overwhelmed.
They were absolutely smashed. When Troy Deeney gets going forward with Igalo, man, Igalo. I think.
Anyway.
Whatever his name is, he was great.
He is, honestly, I mean, that is a combo.
Yeah.
They're more dangerous than you would expect from Watford.
Yeah.
And I mean no disrespect.
They do dovetail extremely well together.
Away from home.
Yeah.
I can't believe this happened.
Against a team that wants to be a top 4 contender.
And should be.
Yeah, kind of.
With the team they have. Payet's back. My whole excuse for them not playing well is gone.
Well, they did play well for 40 minutes and then just...
That Rabona. I'm not getting over it.
No, it was ridiculous. By the way, if anyone has not seen it, just
YouTube,
look it up. Yeah, just
do whatever.
Just type in Payet Rabona and just enjoy.
Download it illegally. I don't care. Yes,
Whatever
I'm
you need to do.
advocating it. Oh my
Whatever
goodness.
you need to do. Just look it up.
Get out there. Just watch it. Oh my gosh.
I know. It's ridiculous. We're both just a little bit flustered right now.
Honestly, I'm in love with it.
I got a touch of the vapors.
Dimitri.
Yeah. What's our next game there?
It is Swansea City Chelsea. I really, really enjoyed this game. I watched it and I enjoyed every single second. Every single second. I loved it.
Why?
Because Chelsea didn't win. And I hate Chelsea.
Okay. And one of your all-time favourite players just had his perfect game summed up. Scored 2 goals. Was a bit of a bastard.
Yeah, and still didn't win. Suck it. Suck it, Diego Costa, you douche. He is. Okay, so I did say that Fellaini was a known bastard. Diego Costa is his god.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we all worship at the feet of the greatest bastard, whoever.
All douches,
braced
bastards, and
bastardry.
wankers get together, they congregate, they say little bizarre, make mantras and, Diego Costa. And they bow to this man because he is the world's biggest douche.
He is.
Across all sports, across jobs, across race.
Really?
Yeah.
Across politics, across everything.
In some ways, he could bring the world together in our hatred for him.
I think Chelsea fans somehow disagree with you, but I take your point.
Know? Chelsea fans, fans. You mean from like 2005 or whatever it was when they got bought out?
Right in, Chelsea fans.
Is there a Chelsea fan older than 15? I mean, really?
Wow. Again, just right in if you'd like to comment on that comment there by Simon Says.
I'm being unfairly harsh. I really don't like Diego Costa because he's just done too much. I mean, I think even Chelsea fans can recognise that he just goes over the top.
He's a bit of a douche.
He's clearly talented. That's what frustrates me. He doesn't need it. He just doesn't need it.
Yeah, but I think he's one of those players that's kind of different. But with Eric Cantona, you couldn't take that unpredictable bastardry out of him. He wouldn't be the same player. Costa's kind of the same. I know he's more of a bastard and he's more of a play-acting, diving little punce.
I never felt that Cantona was a faker, though. So
no, he's not a faker.
Kind of really...
Cantona wasn't a faker, but he was a bit of a bastard at times.
Yeah, he was hard.
Yeah, he was a hard
And that was a different era of Premier League.
It was.
That was a much harder era to play in.
Yeah.
You get protected so much this day and age. What he does is it's not on. It's not on. I don't like him at all.
Okay, here's a question for you.
I'd like to see him leave.
Here's a question.
And I mean Earth. I don't mean Chelsea.
You don't like
Earth.
Atletico Madrid? No. Just
No.
off you go to the moon.
Earth.
Okay, fair enough. I will ask you this question, though, as a follow-up. Is he the best lone front man, and I mean lone front man, in the Premier League?
No.
Who's better?
Sergio Aguero.
No, like as a holding up the ball, a line-leading striker. Not someone who nips in behind, someone that actually knits the play together.
Give me till the end of the season, I might say Benteke.
Okay. See, that's not a bad call. Not bad. All right. Well,
I think by
we'll
the
wait
time
on
this
evidence.
season is done.
We'll wait for evidence on that one.
And I'm also going to say Lukaku.
Yeah, he's a bit of a different kind of beast, but
he
I'll
can be a
pay it.
front
Yeah,
man.
but he can. Okay, I'll pay that. Fair enough. It was just a question. Just wanted to
But
see
that
where you
still
land.
puts Diego Costa right up there because I can't deny his talent.
He's an amazingly
He
talented
bangs in the
player.
goals. He's strong. This is why he doesn't need to do what he does. It's just take it out of your game, and I'll be on the bandwagon.
Just think about that Rabona. Just think about that Payet Rabona.
My gosh,
Here we go.
Dimitri Payet. Honestly,
keep
who
calm.
wouldn't have him? Who wouldn't have him?
Oh, there'd be not a team in the world.
You see, that Rabona right now just guaranteed he leaves West Ham at the end of the season for Real Madrid.
Can't not disagree. My
It's
brain
happening.
hurt. Yeah, I kind of agree. Anyway, let's move on to the
happening.
next picture.
So, Dimitri Payet.
That was a good fixture. Wow.
One last thing I'm going to say about
Jesus.
one last thing I'm going to say about Chelsea Swansea.
Oh, yeah.
I actually think that this weekend has shown that this is going to be a really tight race and that this is going to happen weekly. What we
Yeah,
predicted,
I agree with that.
There's going to be at least one shock every week or
Yeah,
at
I
least
agree.
every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You're going to have this happening
Yeah,
constantly.
you're going to see big teams get trounced.
So to make sweeping statements like this suddenly means Chelsea are no longer contenders is idiotic.
Bollocks.
Because
Absolute
I could
bollocks.
totally see Man City in 5 weeks. I don't have the fixture list in front of me, but in 5 weeks' time, getting done by
West Brom.
West Brom. You know, in a bizarre match that you could never expect.
Or a 0-0 with West Brom or something bizarro.
Something where they drop points and you just weren't expecting. This is going to happen to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's already happened to Liverpool.
Yeah.
It's now happened to Chelsea. It's happened to Leicester.
Yeah.
It's happened to Man United.
Yep.
Everyone is going to slip up. Everybody.
Absolutely.
Who's going to be there at the end of the season? I don't know. The only thing I'm going to say about Chelsea is I was very surprised with how much they huffed and puffed that they couldn't break through to change that 2-2 draw into a 3-2 victory. I am surprised.
Yeah, Leroy Fer had a really good game, but did you think that his goal should have been disallowed for his tackle on Cahill?
No.
Oh, I agree, by the way. I
No way.
don't think it should
No
have.
way.
But I've heard
The
a
fact
lot
that
of
was even
comments
said,
that...
well, they're wrong.
No, I agree.
And
I
forget
think
that
they're
it's
wrong.
Chelsea. I don't care. If that was Liverpool,
Yeah.
I would still be standing here saying, well, it sucks that it happened to us.
Yeah.
But that's not... I mean, if you start calling that...
I agree. I'm
Stop
with you.
watching Premier League.
No,
It's done.
I agree. This is
I
not
wanna see
Spain.
that.
Yeah, this is not Spain. We
not
want to
Spain.
see tackles go in like
Yeah, I
that.
wanna
We
see
want to
it.
see some crunch. We want to see the ball go like spur away, and all of a sudden a player picks it up and runs at you and beats you, and then scores a great goal. That's what you want to see.
You have your job back.
Thank you. All right.
You have your job back.
I've been hired and fired more times this podcast than I have my entire career, but that's cool.
Oh, goodness me.
Do we have any more fixtures?
Sunderland-Everton.
Oh, yes.
Sunderland-Everton.
Ah,
And
yes. Don't you mean...
Everton have announced themselves.
Don't you mean Lukaku versus Sunderland?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how good is he?
Police.
Talk to me.
Police.
I know you love the Lukaku. So
Police.
how about you talk me through Lukaku?
I'll tell you
I
what
mean
is-
Everton. I mean Lukaku.
Yeah, you mean Lukaku. I'll tell you what it is.
And Koeman.
Oh, Koeman. What a great manager.
Yeah.
Again, we've called it before, the best of the unsung managers, the best of the not elite managers in the league is Koeman. But the great thing about Lukaku is he can combine strength and speed and power of shots so well that on his day, no one's stopping him. No one is stopping that kid on his day.
Which defender?
He should be playing for an elite club. And I don't even mean like City or United. I mean, he should be in Madrid.
Barcelona,
he should
Madrid.
Be, he should be at Madrid.
Yeah.
He should be at Bayern Munich right now.
Yeah, next to Lewandowski.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, stop it.
But
With
he
Payet coming in with a Rabona.
Oh, please. Please. I don't want to have to clean up this studio.
Oh, well,
please.
we have to clean up my
Please.
desk.
Oh,
It's done.
please. No,
Someone get him up in here.
amazing. Great performance. He hadn't scored in nearly 6 months.
Yeah.
And he came back and scored 3 in, 11 minutes?
Yeah.
He is just...
But he was good for them. It wasn't just because they were catching him off guard or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he just blew them down. It was amazing.
I feel sorry for Sunderland because
So do I.
they haven't recruited well enough to get themselves out of this hole.
You do not feel sorry for Sunderland.
I feel sorry for Sunderland. I don't feel sorry for David Moyes.
You said that that's where he belongs.
I said he found his level. And
So
I
what are you
stand by
saying about that
comment.
club?
I'm saying I feel sorry for them, that's now their level.
Oh, that's not very nice. You're not a very nice guy.
After all the things that you've said about Sunderland, right in.
What have I said about Sunderland? It's not worth going there.
Yeah,
That's what I
okay,
said.
we'll just revisit some other podcasts. Well, anyway, that's been our podcast for today. I hope that you enjoyed this review. Please go onto our website at studsup-football.com or visit it on Facebook. You can write some really nasty things about Simon Says, particularly if you're a
And Garfield.
Chelsea. Okay, well, me.
And write some really nice things about that Rabona.
Oh, yeah, please. Please post that. But you can write some really nasty things about him if you're a Chelsea or if you're a Sunderland fan. You can always just find us on Facebook. It's just Studs Up. Just type it in. We'll come straight up. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast this week. The next podcast we're going to do, by the way, is going to be a really sneaky one. We've got a podcast here where I'm going to get Simon Says to tell me the 25 Premier League players who have scored over 100 goals.
I'm nervous.
Also, check out for the rest of this week, we'll also